Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Giant, and today I am going to show you a new game I like to call CrossOut. So basically this game is a lot like Robocraft. You build cars and you destroy other people with them. So, like the difference between the two games is how you can see how realistic this car is compared to the blocky versions of Robocraft. But like the comparisons are that you can build the cars like thoroughly all the way in both games. And the reason I like this one more is how easy it is to like level up in this game. So basically this game there is like an apocalypse or something. And so like you're the only survivor or something, and you have to build cars to survive against other people. And so right here I have a car. I've been playing this for quite a while. As you can see, I'm level 18. And basically, so if to go over the overview of this game, you start out in the engineers faction. And like the factions, you level up. Once you reach a certain level, you unlock these other factions, which like so okay, so you start out with a few common parts to build your car with. And you also start out with a car that's pre-built. Like, I'll show you right here. This car. So, it's pretty basic. Not much to it. Now, if I were to assemble it. So, to build your car, you need frames, which these wheels can only sit on. And as you can see, there's tonnage, just like real life. And, so each frame gives structure points, which are basically health. Like as you can see, the one I'm looking at is 48 structure points. And so to explain this little box to the right, there's 20 power scores. So you're wondering what power score is? Power score is basically like, as in Robocraft, it's basically like MMR. But if you don't know what that is, it's so added all, like every part of this truck has a power score. Like the guns have 155, the cabin has 160, and the power score all adds up to this little box in the bottom right, 863. And so the reason power score is really important is because power score is what the game bases you off in multiplayer, which is right here. And so there's a lot to cover. I know I might be skipping some parts, but I'll get back to them. So you start out with just this little mission right here unlocked. All these other ones unlock after a certain level. As you can see, this is level 3 all the way up to level 7. And you see right here the PS player score, 3000. The higher level you are, the bigger cars you can make. As you can see in my blueprints, which are basically just save slots, I have one that's 3497 and like 3408. So going back to our original one, I'll name all these parts and describe them. So this is the cabin. The cabin is like right here I have 3 of them. Each cabin has a power score, then engine speed, max speed, power, tonnage, mass limit, and energy. So all guns take energy. And basically on the right you can see the amount of energy I have versus the amount I'm using, which is 5 and out of 7. And so like I could add more guns, but I don't, because it uses the starter guns. I'm just gonna use the better guns I have, better than the starter ones. So see, now I'm at 7-7, so I can't add any more weapons. If I try to right now, it says I need energy. So the next item on this car is the car jack. So in this game, I'll try and tip myself. In this game, if you tip over, not like Robocraft, you can't unlimitedly get up. So if I were to tip, I don't know if I can right now. I don't know. Yeah, this one won't tip. But if you tip, it will say something like, um, you need an auto jack or something to flip back up. But in a game, if you tip, you have to wait 30 seconds until you can get yourself back up. So, I don't know if I can flip this one. I don't think so. So, crap. Yeah. There are also two types of wheels. There are steering, and then there are non-steering, which are in the back. But I usually like using steering in the front and the back so that I can turn a lot faster. Okay, so as you can see, I have a whole lot of parts like buggy, fenders, canvas roof. Now, you start out with, I think, you start with these two frames, I think, and you unlock, you can get more cabins by battling. Like, you see, each mission gives you a certain reward, and so it goes by like leveling up. You level up and you can, there's a probability of getting better cabins and stuff. But right now I have a lot of things unlocked, but there are also, so this goes into factions. Each faction, once you join it, like these different levels in all of them, once you join it, it gives you parts. And right here, when I joined it, I got these parts because I became level 1. So, factions unlock at level 10. And factions are crucial because they, like, they show, they help you in the ways of, like, how you want to play the game. So, I'll describe them. Lunatics, like right here, it sort of says it, but lunatics are for speed and explosives. And then nomads are for like medium tankiness, and scavengers are outright just tank. So I chose lunatics because I like speed, and so it gave me these parts right here. And then these are the nomads, and then these, yeah, these are the scavengers. So I'm going to play with one of the bots I like to use. And oh, so the next thing I'll go into is coins and stuff. So every battle you can get, like you see in each one, there's this stuff. This is scrap. And so there's two ways of getting things. Like, okay, so in factions, you have these workbenches, and so these unlock when you get a certain level, and these also do the same. But for each faction, you can craft different things. Like, I can craft these ones in this faction, and then these ones if I was in this faction, if I were to change it. And so you see how it takes scrap right here? So crafting things, they take scrap. And now there's two different ways you can use scrap. You can either sell it once you reach 100, because you get a certain amount every battle, even if you win or lose. And you can either sell it or you can build something with it. And I usually like selling it. See, if you sell it, you get like, let me look. You get 5.42 coins. And now coins are used for the market. So I've been saving up because I want there's 5 different rarities. It's common, rare, epic, legendary, and then relic. Now, so this kind of system, you have each set of parts. I usually just keep it on all. So usually, I look through the rare parts, and you see how this is what you buy it. So if I were to click this one, this is what you buy it for, this is what you sell it for. So once you buy something, you can sell it for 10 coins less, which is pretty good because it's always 10 coins less. There's no percentage or anything. And so you see this one, because it's a rare, it has a higher power score. And it takes, this is a psychic drone. There's drones in this game too. And I'll probably go through most of the weapons. Not all of them though. And so this part it says it launches a mobile wheeled combat drone attacking all targets in radius. Now, I don't have any at the time, but basically, here's all the key bindings. I have goblins on this, which are basically shotguns that are like, I'll just show you. So you see, you move WASD, and so my car, right now, I built it for tankiness. I can go through the parts later, but right now these guns, this they do, they're basically just shotguns, and you can see they're pretty effective. So in testing, the cool thing about this game is that when you test, you're going against your very same bot, except it won't move. So you just test like how strong it is from one side or something. And so, as you can see, the shotguns they shoot just straight out. They don't have much turning. And now I'll talk about another thing. Right in the bottom middle, the bottom bar is my health, and it's not gonna go down because I'm not getting attacked or anything. But with my health above it, that's each shotgun. Now, if you like Robocraft, if you lose the gun, it disappears from there. You can't shoot anymore. It just falls off. Like you can see on my bot right over here, I just shot a gun off, and it's just gone. Like the parts will keep falling off. This is like exactly like Robocraft. And so, as you can also see, when I shoot, there's a little, it fills up. Now, this is the weapon overheating. Every weapon in this game overheats except for like a few. And overheating is bad. This is another reason of overheating is when you overheat, I'll show you. Like, see, I'll just keep shooting, and when I overheat, I can't shoot anymore. I'm trying to shoot, but it has a little cooldown period. So this makes it so that you have to pulse your weapon, and I'm pretty good at this. Like, I pulse and then stop shooting. But it also goes in my next topic, which are these things. Weapon radiators. Now, this helps for overheating because it says increases weapon overheat threshold by 25%, and time to cool down increases accordingly. So, I have 3 of these on my bot right now, and so that's 75% threshold increased as well as cooldown, and basically that's like a lot better for these guns because they only take 3 shots. And so right now I have 3 bots up right now, and so I guess the only thing left to do is play. Alright, so as you can see, there's the amount of people on either side varies, and like a lot. Sometimes you get left with like 5v10 or something. But basically, I'll tell you about everything. That is another player right there, yes. And ooh, I'm lagging. So at the top, there's a timer for the game to end, and you see it's an encounter. So that means there's only 1 point. Usually in these games, there's 2 points, and you either battle it out or you fight for like who can cap the most points in the amount of time. And the best thing to do in this game, like, I can't say it too much. Like, the best thing to do is to stick together. And so, if I were to describe every single weapon here, then I don't really want to because it probably would take too long. Right now I'm just gonna play, I guess. I'll describe a few things if they come by. So if you guys are wondering like why I always stop and try and shoot, it's because I have to, these things don't turn well. So I have to actually like sit and aim and turn my whole vehicle instead of actually just turning my mouse. Doing pretty good for the amount of people that are shooting me actually. So as you can see, my health is really low, and my cabin right now is the Growl. The Growl is really weak, but also the fastest. And so right here is a new thing. So these are the rewards I get. These are stickers. Stickers are like achievements in each battle. You get, they all add up in the end. Like, doesn't matter how many you get. You don't really get a reward. They're just something to look at. And so this is my bot right here. This is my profile picture. Then it's the reputation, basically XP, the amount I get for each battle. And so this is different than Robocraft because you just sit in the server and you just keep playing over and over until you go back to your garage, which is like the menu I used to be at. And so the teammates get like, unless you leave, you're gonna stay with the same amount of people on each side, but it's gonna be switched up. So I've seen this guy from last time right here. We didn't get switched, but there will be a lot of different people. And so as you can see, there is PS right here too. So it matches you by player score. And so right here you can see all them. Usually a higher player score means that they're gonna be better, but I don't really pay attention to that because these shotguns are actually really good. That was easy. So you may have read that this game is still in beta. I'd say no, because there are bundles already out that you pay for real money, and some of my friends already did it, like they bought coins. So I'd say this isn't really in beta, but I guess it's still in beta, like you can give them your opinion and stuff, and they probably change the game. But I wouldn't say this is in beta. By the way, you can find this on Steam. It's free. Okay, so another thing I like to talk about. Like, okay, so I like everything about the game, except the fact that, as you can see, I sometimes, like, my mouse goes wrong. So what happens is, you're playing and then all of a sudden your mouse goes way over to the right or something. And you can see that my mouse disappeared over here. What happens is your mouse is also moving in the background as you're moving your crosshair. So up here is, like, this is the missions I'm doing and this is my stats. It doesn't show damage, it just shows my PS and kills and assists, as well as score. So I'm gonna go back to the garage. And so the next things I like to talk about are, as you can see, I've been playing missions. Missions don't require anything. They're free to play. And so you start out in the game with this down here. Energy boost, 400% additional reputation, also XP, and there's a limit, as well as the amount of scrap you get. I found that out when playing. I was like, why am I not getting scrap? This is why. There's a limit, and it starts at 6 days. It takes quite a while. This like lessens the amount because scrap is usually my main. See right here, I have 100, so I'm gonna sell it. Scrap is my main way of getting money. And once you hit your limit, see, if I hit my limit right now, I'd have to wait 3 days. So I'm at 280 coins. I usually get 45 in a day of playing this game. But if it stopped, I'd probably only get like 10 coins. So that's the difference I like about other than Robocraft, because Robocraft you get the items and there's a chance you can get better ones, but you can always sell those items at like any time. Well, here you really can't sell the scrap when you can't get it. So the next thing is raids. Now raids are, as you can see, this one's an easy one. Raids are basically just you're on a different map than the ones I was playing. Raids is players versus AI, which are raiders. The raiders, this one's an easy. There are two easy, and these switch up every 1 hour and 27 minutes. And so these two are easy, and then this one's normal, and this one is so. It's a lot of things to talk about. So this one's like it's just like the heists, except this one will always be the same. As you see, raiders are attacking our pump jacks, and this time they're bringing giant monster machines with them. So basically, what it means is it's bringing Leviathans. Now, Leviathans, this unlocks at level 17, and I just like unlocked it. So basically, as you can see, by leveling up, you see in the bottom right how it says total parts. That's the amount of parts I can put on this vehicle. So everything on here counts as one part. So that really limits the size and how much you add to your vehicle. And so it also, the structure is my health and acceleration and speed. So the reputation bonus. Now, these things, any decoration items give you bonuses, and they cost a lot, even though they're a common item. As you can see, it's gray on the top. And so, putting on items is weird in this game. So if I were to, say, put on like this hatchet, it starts out like this, but in the top, the big bar in the top, you have to rotate it yourself, unlike Robocraft. So yeah, I don't really like it that much, but they're probably not gonna fix it anytime soon. So about the mass, this growl. Wait, it's a lot easier to read if I take it out right now. Look at it. So the growl, as you can see, the engine speed, max speed, and power is pretty high. That's because it's built for speed. And so there is a mass limit, which is why I didn't put such heavy parts on this thing. Let me see if I can fit it back in. Okay, there we go. And the max, like, once you go over the amount of mass, you can see it's 3,800 out of 5,400. If you go over, like, you go around really close to that number, your vehicle starts to slow down, as if in real life, if you had a mass limit, you'd slow down too. So yeah, it's really realistic. This is also in Robocraft too, but so as you can see, there are different paints you unlock, and these two are relics. They come through missions, which are up in this exclamation mark. So it shows how long it takes till they reset. It's probably like a day. Yeah, a day. And so you get different missions, you can do them. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is seasons. Now, I've already completed this first one. And so you start out like this, and you get to pick which mission you want. Now you can see it says easy, normal, and hard. So missions mainly are based around raids. And in raids, you know about them. So raids, the difference I didn't talk about between raids and battles is that raids cost this little green stuff. Now this green stuff is fuel. So there's different ways of getting fuel. You can either get it on the market, like right here. If I were to look up fuel, as you can see, you can just buy it and use coins. Or if you didn't want to do that, there's another way. So on your vehicle, you can add this thing called a fuel barrel. Now you read, allows to receive fuel in PvP battles, gives 5 fuel, does not stack with multiple barrels, blah 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 blah. Okay, so fuel barrels, once you add them, like, I think I have one down here. Yeah. Fuel barrels, I'll talk about them. Fuel barrels, so once you're in a battle, or like, say I was in test drive, or, yeah, I was in test drive, fuel barrels are weird, because as you read, if you could read that, I went really fast, but if you could read it, it said that the fuel barrel would explode. It says it explodes with 400 damage at 10-meter radius. Now what it means is, say you're like, oh no, you were dying, like, you got stuck, another player was pushing you around, like, that's happened to me, and you just couldn't move or anything, and you really wanted to, like, get back at that guy, do damage to him, but you just couldn't shoot him. Now there is a solution. I think I might be able to blow myself up. So I just, like, when I learned this, I started using it a lot. So if I'm going to press this button, backspace. Now backspace, you can see right above my overheat threshold thing, you can see the little bar filling up. Now if I hold backspace, you see I've let go. Now you see my engine, it's blinking. This means that I'm self-destructing. And see, I did damage right there. Now, that's what you do if you got stuck and the guy, like, you really wanted to shoot the guy and stuff. So, what backspace is good for? Like, what the barrels are good for backspace. They're good for two things, but the first thing is, you see it deals damage? That's basically what it was. When you explode, your self-destruct holding backspace, and if your fuel barrel hasn't been shot off, and you're still alive, if you blow up, you can sometimes destroy your opponent, if you get close to him and blow up. Which is really funny sometimes, because say you're out of weapons, and you just couldn't shoot or anything, you can just do the backspace thing, and just go near any opponent, and just blow them up. But it's, sometimes you can kill them, sometimes you can't, but I always like, so, it says, does not stack with multiple barrels about the fuel. Once you win a battle, if you have a fuel barrel on your, on your vehicle, and you're not dead, you get this stuff called fuel. Now, fuel, there's two different ways you can use it. For every battle, you get 5 fuel if you win and you're still alive, but you can either sell it for 5.13 coins, or you can pour it into tank. And what it means by pour into tank is put it up here. And so, every day, like, it resets, you go up to 200, and you can see each one of these battles costs a different amount. So the harder the battle, see this one's hard, the more fuel it costs. And so easy raids cost 20, then medium costs 40. This one just costs 40 because it's kind of hard, I guess. And basically, I guess fuel barrels, they do not stack on how much fuel you get, but they do stack on how much damage you do when you self-destruct. So you see how it says 450 damage in a 10 meter radius. Say you added 5 barrels, that would be around 2,000, no, 2,000 damage. So but the thing is, I know what you are thinking, add a huge amount of barrels, blow yourself up near someone, kill the whole enemy team. No, it doesn't work that way. Fuel barrels, the good thing that they added for, like, say if someone actually did that, added a huge amount of barrels, is that, you know how I shot myself and the parts came off? If you shoot a fuel barrel on someone else, and it, like, you break it, it does damage to them. So that's why I put my fuel barrel down here. It won't get damaged. And so, when a fuel barrel explodes, you see this damage amount? It does that much damage to you. And it probably won't kill you. It'll just, like, when you're about to die, your engine turns on fire. It's like to show your health to other people, because there's no health bars. It'll probably light your engine on fire. And so, that's the problem. If you were about to add, like, 10 fuel barrels, I wouldn't. You'd have to hide them all. And so, that's why I hide it under here. And so, like, I'm looking down here. Yeah, this is the next thing. Now, there are engines in the game. So, okay. Cabins give you a certain amount of speed and stuff. But say you wanted more speed. Now, if you wanted more speed, you can add an engine. Now, there are, like, let me show you on a shop. There are many different types of engines. So, you can see, probably by their name, that kind of explains all that they do, except for this one, because this one does not make you fly. If you wanted to fly in this game, I don't think you can. There's ways to, but you just can't fly like a plane. You can blast yourself into the air, but you can't fly like a plane. And so, each engine, you can see, like, this one named Powerful. Engines add more power. Like, you can see this one, it has a huge amount of power. So, talking about cabins again. Let me just... So, each cabin gives you, like, this one, it gives you a certain amount of power. But, the difference between it and the growl is the growl gives you speed. And so, say, like, you add too much mass on the growl and it can't pull it. Well, there's different cabins that are built for pulling way more mass. Like, this one pulls 14,000. Which is way more but it has lower speed and engine speed, but way more power. So you can see it adds 11 points of energy, has a high mass on it, as well as a high amount of structure points. So this one is an epic. It's really tough. I've gone against it. So some cabins give you bonuses, like this one speeds up aim time for all weapons that have it by 100% when stationary. I really don't know what that means because I haven't got many things that are epic. I'm still saving. And so like there's really a lot of different cabins, and each cabin has a size. Like you see like my other one, you see how big this one is compared to the Growl. And so basically they take up a lot more space. Like this one is the Docker, has a higher, like a lower power score because it's common, but it has a lot more power. And you can see this bot has 8900 mass right now. So this one, it's really slow. You can see. So the more wheels you have, the slower you go, and as well as like the amount of frames and everything else you have on it. Right now I have a lot of things on this, so it's a lot slower. But right now, I like sticking with this one right now because what I did was I put steering in the front and the back on both sides so I could turn faster because of these shotguns. And basically, okay, oh yeah, the other battle modes. I thought I was done. The next one I like to talk about is brawls. So you can see there's 4, but there's only 1 unlocked. So brawls are kind of different. Like this one, you can read it right here. 8 survivors can take part in a circuit race with tricky corners and obstacles. Your objective is to be the first to clear all checkpoints, and there is only one winner in this race. All mounted weapons will be deactivated. So I played this. Basically, you just race. There's 8 people, and you just race. Basically, you just go around one of the maps, and you have to go through these checkpoint things, and if you miss one, you have to go back. But the thing is, if you there's no weapons. If you ram someone, it doesn't do damage, where it usually does, because I'll talk about that next. If you ram someone, it doesn't do damage. If you have weapons on, it doesn't do anything. But so this, you see up here, new missions will be available in 21 hours and 13 minutes, while this one says 1 hour and 13 minutes, where it usually starts at like 5 hours or something. This one, it opens up at a certain time and closes at a certain time. And so the reason being is this one, you can see it gives way more scrap. So there's 2 different types of rewards. Now this is the type of containers, like I'll show you. In this game, basically the container system is this, and you don't just buy them. You can get them as you can either buy them, or you can get them from missions. And so this one right here, it says container holds a rare part, legendary part with low probability, epic part with average probability, and rare part with high probability. Basically, how a container works, I have one in my inventory, so I can show you guys, is you click, do you really want to open this crate? And I click yes. So, it does this. This is the system. It's basically, it rolls around. This one has a low probability of rare weapons, so I'm guessing I'm not going to get one. So see, it gives you a common weapon. So, there's 2 different things. You can either accept it, take it, or you can exchange it. And this little logo means scrap. Right now I have 33. So another thing I found out is you just hit escape, and you see it's right up here. But you can play any game. You can do anything. You can close the game, open it back up. This will still be here until you try and open another, which is the cool thing I figured out. So yeah, this one, if you win the match, you can get this a container. Now the next thing about containers is, you see how this one says different stuff? Basically, it's the same thing except you see engineer's flag. That's basically right here. I'll show you it. Um, right here. So flags, they're also stuff that gives you, like, this is a decoration, and you can see it says description, but it also says this other thing in red. 72 hours until destruction. Now, in some crates, like I'll show you. Okay, so if I put on rare and I just looked at the weapons, you see how they're like 50 coins, 40 coins. Well, in an adventure container, there is a probability to get. You see how it's only 2 coins? 2 coins and 78 cents, I guess. You see how it's so low? Well, if there's a probability that you do get a rare weapon for this low of money, they either say, if you get a good one, it says destruction. Now, basically, once you activate your weapon, it has a certain time till it destroys. This is only some of them. I don't know, like this flag. This thing gives you a really high reputation bonus, as well as a team bonus to their XP. But it also destroys itself in 2 days, I think. No, I think it's 3 days. I don't know, I don't want to calculate it right now. But it destroys itself. And that's kind of good because of how high of a bonus it gives. So, like, you can't use it infinitely because it destroys itself. But you can also buy more of them, or you can make more. But they always will destroy themselves because they're really good. Yeah, it's 3 days. It's right here. Like, they do give you a really high bonus. And so there's also, like, this one for 400 scrap. This container gives you decoration items. You can see these things. What I like about these things is that you also can get, they give you 1%. Like, common gives you 1, rare gives you 2, and then epic gives you 3. These you can use infinitely. Like I have right here. These give, so I have a 2% bonus. It says in the bottom right. And I just like keeping them on because they have a low power score. But they do take up I have 2 of them on, so they take up 2 parts. And so, that's 2 less parts that I can use, but it also gives me the bonus, which I like. And so, I'll show you these are all the resources you can get. And from these, some of these come from the raids. Like, you see right here, coupons. You can only get 6. In each battle, you can get coupons, as well as copper. So copper, every 120 reputation you get 1 piece of copper. So that's basically how much XP you get. You get this much copper. And this one is coupons. They're basically for building. I just keep a few because if I actually need them, which I probably don't because I'm buying most of my stuff on the market. But back to the brawls thing. This one, yeah, the race. So, it randomly chooses one that unlocks. And I have not played this one, but I have played this one, this free-for-all, and Big Black Scorpions, which is basically everyone is the same bot. This one exactly. And you have these boosters. Okay, so boosters, they're basically just like rockets in Robocraft, except they take up like 1 energy each. And if you can bind them to a certain key. Like right here, I have these all bound to the same key. And so you see, like, there's only a certain amount of keys, it's a correct amount of keys. I don't really use any more than that. But you basically click and they shoot out, they boost you for a certain amount of time. So this one is different because boosters usually can only go forward and backwards. Like, you have to face them. Like I said about rotating things, you have to face them a certain direction, and you can only use them in that direction for the whole entire game until you switch it back, like you switch it a different way. But you basically, one booster does not do much. You need like 4. 4 makes a difference, and depending how big, like how much mass you have, the more of boost you get. So I'll show you another thing. This is, exhibition, I think it is called. I don't know. But this is where you can publish your bots. And so if you blueprint it or save it, like say I wanted to save this, I liked how it looked, I would save it. You see it says name your blueprint, but I'm not going to name it because it's right here. So if you were to save this, you'd hit OK. So there's 3 things you can do, or 4, 5. So you see all these, like say I wanted to do something with this one, I click on it and it shows it. But right now you see how I have this one right here. So what blueprinting does is it takes all your parts, like just like deletes, takes apart this spot and takes all those parts and makes it into this one, or any one that I saved, like this one, which is cool because once I say I wanted to get rid of this one, I didn't like it, and so I wanted to start new. So say like unlike Robocraft, you know how if you use one part on one build, you can't use it in another. This game is way different. Any parts you use on a different build, like in my blueprints, they don't save onto the next one. Like you don't use up parts and you have to keep buying them. See how like I have the growl here, but if I wanted to use the growl, it's right here. And so that's what I like. You don't use up parts. Like you don't keep them in a different slot and you have to reuse, you have to buy more or something. It's the one thing I like about this. So say I wanted to do something with this. If I wanted to, like I have nothing right here. If I were to assemble it, like it takes all the parts and puts it into this one. And so I'd click on this. So on the exhibition there are, see how there's different things? Say I like to look at this one. Now this is truly random, like I picked a random one. So it shows me all the parts it has, and you see how I'm too low of a level to actually have enough parts right here. You see how it's like 1 out of 10 energy. So it shows all me the stats about this, and here's the name. So there's a new thing, a cool thing I like also. Right down here, say I wanted to build it. So there's a like button or there's a blueprint. If you have an open blueprint space, you click it and it shows you this. So you have loaded the blueprint E100, which is the name of this thing. It can now be found in your custom blueprints. So I can either hit OK and go to blueprints, which back to the garage. So if I hit OK, now if I go back, you see it's right here now. So there's really no way to sell your bot and have other people buy it. They just blueprint it, and so they just buy the parts themselves, or if they have them, they put it together. Now if you don't have the parts for this thing, say you're missing like these tank treads, you'd look down here. So as you can see, it says the parts at the top I'm missing, and the parts at the bottom I have. So I don't have these ones. So say like, oh, I don't need those. You can also test drive, as well as on the exhibition. You can like say this one, I can test drive it as well, even though I don't have the parts, which is cool. So say I was like, I want to assemble this anyways. This is gonna look really bad though. Say I assemble it. It says you do not have all the parts, but you can partially assemble. So it's basically taking the parts you have and putting it together. Now this is gonna look really bad. Yep. So turns out I didn't have the paint. I didn't have all these other parts, but I do have these, which looks really bad. Yeah. So if you you really wanted something, but you just don't have one weapon, you have everything else, you can still assemble it, but it won't put that weapon in there. Like you'd either have to reassemble it, which is pretty easy. Like I can just click assemble again, and so it puts it back together. But once you have that part, you can just assemble it and it puts it in. But it's cool that you don't need all the parts. I mean, I couldn't play with this thing. But if I wanted to, I could. So I'm just gonna delete that because I don't need it. Okay, so the next thing you can do, you can see right here, I can publish it. Now, whatever you name your blueprint is gonna be the name of the published thing on the exhibition. Right now, I have 8 things on here. So each of these, like I used to have these parts right here, these ones which are drones. I'll talk about them later. And so, like, I used to have these parts, but I don't anymore. And as you can see, it has numbers about how many likes it gets and downloads. But so um hmm. Oh yeah, the next stuff. Okay. So this one I was talking about it. Most kills at the end of the timer wins. Ooh, this one's a lot more. Each of them probably has a different, yeah, each of them. This one's basically a storm that kills you over time if you're in it. Goes across the whole battlefield, trying to be the last one alive. Free for all. Probably know what that one means. So the next thing is there's clans in this game. Now this is Friends tab, and this is clans. Now clans, they're really expensive. They take 500 coins. I haven't joined or created a clan yet because I'm waiting for other people to do it and invite me. But I don't know, I might do a clan on here. So once you're in a clan, you can do these clan battles, which is a 4v4 team PvP battle, just like missions, except it's only 4v4. And there are like parties in this game. You can get in groups with people. And so it says like blah blah blah. Oh, there's a tournament. Yep. As of all games with clans and stuff, there's tournaments of who is the best clan or something. So the next one is ranked. This one was really just added. As I said, this game is kind of in beta. So you can see you need to be level 10, and you need to be player score 3,000, which I am, so I can battle if I wanted to. And there's a ranking. I don't know. I haven't played this one. I am not in this yet. I don't really want to get into ranking though. So I think that actually covers it. I can go into all the weapons next video, but right now I've talked a lot, and I think I'm gonna end this video here. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you did, I don't know, you can do whatever you want, or you can punch that like button, but mainly see you in the next video.